Collective, welcome. I'm Nikki, your local vegan tarotist. We're going to do a twin flame check-in for the collective. I am just now having my coffee, moving kind of slowly into the day. I've been in a migraine aura, so if you've ever dealt with migraines or you're familiar with it, there is kind of pre-symptoms and post-symptoms, and I'm in the pre-symptoms. Now there are physical reasons why I have this and spiritual reasons why I have it, and you guys know, if you've been following me for a while, or if you just know, physical symptoms mirror what's going on spiritually or emotionally. So it's our body's way of telling us something's up, look at it. So you may be experiencing, headaches, eye twitching, lower back pain. Just pay attention to where it is, what chakra it could be representing, and there could be a blockage that you need to clear there. I also deal with panic attacks, and I had a pretty severe one yesterday, and a lot came up, so it's like, okay, there it is, there's some blockages. So get your tea, get your coffee, move into the day nice and slowly. Right? The to-do list will always be there. So just, embrace the now. Live in the now. Self-care is very important. So, which, especially for children of chaos, that's very difficult to put the attention and the focus and the love on ourselves, right? So we're going to read for the masculine, read for the feminine, right? The masculine represents the sun, the masculine aspect of the heart chakra, all right, also Leo. It's clarity, right? The sun brings light to the moon, to the feminine in the 3D. And then the feminine brings light to the masculine, or brings faith, all right? Because when we can't see the moon, like in a new moon or in an eclipse, we just have to go on faith that she is still there and she is full, right? So we'll read for the masculine, who leads the connection in the 3D, and then we'll read for the feminine, who guides the connection in the 5D, and then we'll read for the truth. We're going to read from the Native American Tarot deck for the truth in this connection, or now the truth is kind of the unbiased, unconditional, divine aspect. And then the masculine and feminine is like, what's going on with the individuals here? What's the struggles, setbacks? In the masculine, we have the 5 of Pentacles. This is feeling left out in the cold. I always get the like Scrooged, or so something around Christmas time. Someone could be a Capricorn, or something around Christmas time could be important. You could be in a place where it snows, or it gets very cold during the winter. I'm from Florida, so it's cold to me, but to other people, they're like, this isn't cold. So, it's kind of a perspective base, right? Basis here. Base, you could live on like a military base, or be military, or you could, this masculine could work in some sort of like building. They could be building something, building a foundation in something. If you're building from a 5 of Pentacles, this is a lack mentality, so that's going to be a shaky foundation. So there's a call to pay attention to where you're laying a foundation. This could be a masculine who tried to lay a foundation with another connection, or in work with the Pentacles here, and it made them unstable. Now, this reminds me of not just like Scrooge, but specifically for some reason, and he is a Capricorn, January 17th, Jim Carrey, also the name Andy, because he is the birthday twin of Andy Kaufman, who he played in Man on the Moon. So there is an aspect of like the man on the moon, a man trusting the feminine, which is tough. It's tough for the feminine to trust the masculine to lead them, and it's tough for the masculine to trust the feminine to guide them into self-care, right? Because 5 of Pentacles is about, also it is that perspective basis, right? Of their reality is that they are left out in the cold, but the truth here may not be that they're left out in the cold, right? Rejection is divine protection. And it's also someone whose maybe health is suffering. They're Pentacles represent health and wealth, so it's not just money, but like your physical body maybe feeling the ailments of the spirit or the emotion that you're not paying attention to, masculines. But yeah, what is it, A Christmas Carol that Jim Carrey does the Scrooge story in? And that is kind of the woe is me. Water signs, Pisces energy with the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is not here, but that woe is me is any five is like, it's a lack mindset, right? It's perceived lack. So this is somebody realizing the truth in a situation, because we have the Ace of Swords, also bringing communication in. Now they're watching a feminine here who does not see this coming. So this could be a masculine who's pretty excited to communicate with a feminine who doesn't see it coming. Like they want to surprise them and they're like, haha, they don't know that I'm coming. Also, another birthday twin that Jim Carrey worked with is in Yes Man. So this is a masculine who's saying, back up, Zooey Deschanel. All January 17th birthday. So the names could be important to you, the initials, that date, something around that date could have been important for this connection. Or that could just be the energy of someone who works hard to play harder, because that is Capricorn energy. It's also the kind of like understudy aspect of the Emperor, right? Aries being the primary understudy. So that also gives me like an underdog energy here, that this feminine does not see this masculine coming. They don't expect this to be the masculine that's going to come in. They could have their focus on another masculine that looks a lot like the person, but they are actually the understudy. And that reminds me of is it Emma Rossi in Phantom of the Opera? She is the understudy to starts with an M. Mila. Oh my gosh, what is her name? Also something with the heart. You could be having like heart palpitations, or you could like have some sort of genetic predisposition to heart disease or disruptions of the heart. Now that could be the proverbial heart, that could be the literal heart. But again, it will mirror it if you don't address it and do the work to clear that blockage of the heart chakra in the heart space, which is what we're concerned with here. Ooh, excuse me. Why do I always forget her name? Anyway, Phantom of the Opera, the primary girl. She's super funny. She's all, and the reason I said heart is because she's in that one Return to Me with David Duchovny. I want to believe, right? X-Files, X's or crosses could be important here. Someone could wear a cross, or just have like a kinship or some sort of Christ consciousness or closeness with Christ. Or someone saying it could be Chris, Christoph, Jesus. But in that movie, she plays his love interest, and she receives his late wife's heart, and then they find each other and love ensues. Also, there's something about like zoos, animals. Hopefully we're not going to zoos. Let's stop paying into an industry that exploits animals, please. But maybe something about rescues, but something about, and in this, yes, she works for a zoo, but it's also like a conservation where so maybe something about like conservation, environmental conservation could be important here. Yes, we like that. Let's save this planet. Let's try our best. but yeah, the gorilla, and something about hands, like the hands meeting like this. Um, so something about holding hands, or like the way that your hands intertwine. Also, another snowy, Christmassy film is Sleepless in Seattle. So Washington could be important here. Well, we have, so I'm getting that return to me. Yeah, Phantom of the Opera, Angel of Music. Music could be very important. Something about the theater. Now that could just be like the movie theater. That could be the theater, right? So it could be, theater RE or theater ER, right? You know. But the Six of Cups is a soulmate. It's past love, and it is like returning to each other. And you're going to be able to express your full inner child with each other. You're going to truly be able to play, right? So maybe you're going to see a play or some kind of show. I'm getting like a matinee. So it could be like an afternoon date or something. With this person, where you're going to go see a movie or go see like an old-fashioned show, or I'm getting one of those like in like an older downtown where they have the theaters that are just kind of, they look sort of old-timey, but someone could be very interested in history, but this person's going to be very interested, this masculine's very interested in this feminine's history. They want to ask them questions. They want to give them gifts. See, he's giving a cup, not just a cup, and not an empty cup, first of all, not just a cup with water, which is emotions and love and depth and connection, but also flowers, which is earth energy, and it's stability, it's an investment, right? So this is a masculine who's really taking a risk here. They're expressing their vulnerable side because they are presenting as a little boy to this little girl, right? Gender aside, this is masculine and feminine, your inner childs, your inner children, your inner childs. Julia Child, maybe, woo! Maybe someone likes to cook. They're going to cook for you, which gives me Taurus energy. As a Taurus, Also Cancer. So you could have strong Taurus or Cancer placements. But this is water and earth. This is long-term investment. This is something that you can see, and something that will continue to grow. And not just this cup. It's like every single cup is filled. So it's not just like, because I feel like feminines, gift giving could be a fractured love language for you, because, sometimes, especially if you were raised in chaos, or if you had like narcissistic people around you, manipulative people around you, they could have used gift giving or anything as like a token of obligation, or like hierarchy of saying, remember that time I gave you the thing, or it's they give you something so that you feel obligated to stay with them, or they could have controlled you through money or something. But we have Scorpionic energy, also Aries with Mars. So maybe your Mars placement is playing a role here. But this is the Tower. I don't know why that was so hard for me. So this is going to be a tower, and here it's two people taking a leap of faith. That's like Aladdin. Do you trust me? Do you trust me? And you might be like, well, can I trust them? Because Aladdin was a little liar, liar, pants on fire. But somebody's pants are on fire. Like they are, that reminds me of Friends, where Joey's like, he comes across Rachel's book, and it's my burning loins. So it's like somebody is on fire for you. And it also gives like a heat, like they are activated. They are moving toward you quite quickly. Yeah, Knight of Wands, quite quickly, Sagittarius energy. But yes, there's a concern on the feminine side, because they're like, is this just a Knight of Wands here to take from me, like a parasite, like this flea that they're riding in on, like maybe past energy that I've dealt with? Or are they coming here to be true, to be honest, to stay a long time? Because the Knight of Wands is notorious for being a lot of fun for now. They're Mr. Right now. They are not necessarily Mr. Right. So the feminine could be kind of concerned with that. What is this? And feminines, you might have two that you're, okay, I guess they really want to come out. I'm coming out. I want the world to know. Okay, so this is a masculine who has laid down burdens. Maybe they were a player in the past because they're putting all these wands down. 10 of Wands is putting an ending to that. That's the Tower. They realize like they were overly investing in chemistry and not compatibility, not connection. It might have felt like connection because they're like, yeah, we're so connected. You know how you like have that chemistry with someone and you're like, yeah, this is I just can't describe it, right? And Dr. Ramani talks about that. And anybody who has dealt with narcissistic connections, which is like a contradiction in terms because connection is double-sided. It's mutual, right? It's like a circuit. Narcissistic dynamics are attachments because it's one-sided. And that somebody's realizing that. Now, I like this because the masculine is looking at the feminine here. Like they're presenting with their intention and they see the feminine here with this 2 of Swords. And the feminine is looking at the masculine. So with this 6 of Cups here, it's like they are looking at each other, which tells me it is a circuit, which means there will always be, you'll be like the 5 love languages. What is your love language, collective? Do you know your love language? You can have like when we're in a healthy connection, and it is that circuit. We speak all of the love languages, right? And this is find somebody who speaks your language, so you don't have to explain your heart or something. I'm butchering that, but that's kind of hiccups. That's like a tight diaphragm. Someone needs to do, and by someone I also mean myself because that's what my body's telling me. Do some breath work. Do some like refocus your circuit here because I'm getting like a circuit. Someone could work in electronics or something where there's like circuitry. Conduits. Maybe the tarot reader, the connected conduit. There may be some messages over on her channel for you. But there is, this also reminds me of The Conjuring films, Ed and Lorraine Warren. Now they worked together. I mean, they worked very spiritually together. And they say with the conduits, they're, whenever people see the room that they have all of these like cursed objects in, they're like, why don't you just destroy them? Well, sometimes it's better to keep the genie in the bottle. I also just sent the GIF that is, it was the genie from Aladdin, which we already referenced Aladdin, where he says, I'm free. Because we have the genie here. Robin Williams could be important. Basically comedians. So somebody could be very funny here. They're going to make you laugh, which is that is the key to breathwork. When I do breathwork classes, I always get people to laugh, right? Lighten the mood, because a lot of people are intimidated by it, especially when you're doing yoga. They're like, I don't know how to do this. But laughter is the best medicine. It really does relax the diaphragm. It allows you to breathe. It resets the nervous system. And so there's something about laughing with this person. And so your diaphragm could be very tight from walking on eggshells, from pretending to be somebody else, from not being able to be a child, not being able to have fun. But this is wish fulfillment. This is a wish granted. Also, leave in the comments, if you wish, what your 3 wishes would be to a genie. If you had the 3 wishes. And you must abide by the rules of the jinn. Okay? Can't ask for more wishes. Can't bring the people back from the dead. It's not a pretty picture. I don't like doing it. Oh, we have the coyote. That is like the song by Dope Lemon, When Life Gives You Lemons. Coyote. I love Dope Lemon. That's a good playlist. I might put that on today. Also, Hey Little Baby. The cover art or the like thumbnail art for that for Hey Little Baby is there's a girl with like blue hair and there's a guy who's painting on her back, and they're just kind of like hanging out. It's very luxurious. It looks like they're in kind of a tree house. They're just, the windows are open, it's breezy, they're doing art, they're creating together. You're going to create with this person. 9 of Wands. Defiance. Now, 9 of Wands is like the wounded warrior. It's all like the anarchist. I like it. But it is that wounded warrior. It is that kind of like, this person's been through, both of you, I feel, have been through hell and back. And you're going to kind of, okay, so one of the triggers for this recent panic attack is I'm readdressing things through, like, I did a mental health analysis for integrating in the the VA system where I'm at, and yeah, bringing that stuff back up. It's like, oh gosh, that you got to do it again and again, and that's the feeling when you are dating. It's like you got to bring up your trauma every time. You have to bring up your past story. You got to do the I always want to say inventory, but it does feel like an inventory. It's like going into the archives and pulling out all the bullshit and dredging it back up so you can explain yourself to this person. It's like the interview process, which is very exhausting. Also, I went to an interview yesterday, and that triggered some other things because of what happened around that, not the interview itself. That was fine. But there is like there's not going to be a need to do that. This person understands, like, you're not going to have to regale this person with all your war stories. If you do, though, like, if you express these things, if you feel like you're in a safe space with this person, they're going to listen, and you're going to be able to express anything you need to express, and you're going to feel like you're in a safe space. And this isn't someone who's going to use that stuff against you, and it's not someone who is going to like keep it as an arsenal or anything like that. And they're not going to forget. Like, they're not going to forget. So if you do have certain like triggers, or if you have certain like boundaries that have been crossed in the past, you may have a reluctance to express those again because they were used against you as a manipulative tactic. You're going to feel very safe with this person, where you can say your greatest fears, you can say your biggest insecurities, and this person is going to honor those things by not crossing those boundaries, by not like they want you to feel very safe, and they're going to make sure that they are actively creating that safe space. Now, for the feminine, that is creating a safe emotional space for this masculine to really dip into their feminine energy, to dip into self-care, to nurture and comfort those things, right? It's like I can see this masculine kind of like laying on the chest of the feminine. They are going to be able to be like the little spoon, because I feel like this masculine like keeps a very masculine composure in this world where they are not ever allowed to be that soft version of themselves. They're going to be able to do that. And for the feminine, there's like a hyper independence where they are going to be able to also be soft and be led by this masculine, not misled where they have been misled in the past. So I like that, because it's like there is like a guarded energy here with the defiance of in past connections, but with the 9 of Cups, the 9 of Cups is here to put out the 9 of Wands. Like, it's like cancels it out. It's like, nope, this is a clean slate. But I'm also getting where there's smoke, there's fire. Like, when you put out a fire with water and then there's some smoke, that also tells me, like, there may be a concern that, like, yes, I don't want to give to just chemistry, but I also want chemistry. Like, you could both be quite sexual people, quite sensual people, but you don't want your relationships to just be based on that, because in the past that's just gotten you both into trouble, because you can't sustain something. So it's like, where there's smoke, there's still fire. Like, there's still a lot of creative, passionate energy here. Because yeah, you may be like, oh, if it's safe, or if I express this vulnerability, like, this person's not going to be attracted to me, or when I've expressed it in the past, people have lost that interest in me because they want me to just look like or be like whatever they have imagined is masculine or feminine. So yeah, you were just dealing with idiots, basically. But I feel like this, you will like idolize each other. No one's pedestalizing. It's not imbalanced or anything like that. Again, it's a circuit. It's very even and reciprocal and balanced. Ooh, it's balanced. Balance represents peace. So it's interesting because, especially as an artist, one fear that I had for a long time was, if I heal my shit, am I still going to be an artist? Like, because so much of my creativity, I believed, came from my chaos, came from my shadows, right? When I would be in depression, I would write really amazing poetry, and I would paint in a way that I thought was really, I was very satisfied with what I was creating. From a place of hurt, from a place of, and that's where a lot of people will be the tortured artist, and they have to, like, have these substance abuse problems to think that they're good writers. And it's like, if you can create from that kind of place, imagine the type of creation you can produce from a healed place, from a balanced place, from a safe place. And that's the kind of creativity that we need in this world. We need beautiful creativity. It's like, people will get addicted to the news and to all of the bad shit that's going on in the world. But how many of us really sit around and watch, especially in the vegan community, there are tons of slaughterhouse videos and animal exploitation, and we see it, with all of the news, the fear mongering. It's like, that is also a circuit. That's the devil's circuit, right? It puts us into a place of just seeing. If you're seeing bad, you'll look for bad, and if you're looking for bad, you'll see bad. And then there are, like, the faith in humanity, right? Or like people saving animals. Let's watch those kind of videos. All right. Yes, there is a lot of war and chaos and evil in the world, but there is so much good, and that's far more profound, and that circuit is much bigger. And when we really put our energy into that wheel, into that circuit, and I'm getting like the Wheel of Fortune, we truly will be blessed. We will feel blessed, and when you're looking for good, you'll see good, right? And good always wins. All right. If you've seen any movies, I'm getting Van Damme because I used to watch that with my brother. Because Hubba Hubba, also Friends, right? Where he's in that. Man, that man can do some splits, right? So this could be someone who is into martial arts or fitness, health. Like, this is someone who really, like, reveres their body as a temple. Like the tower, I'm seeing, like, it's taking you from a place of low health and self-worth into a very valuable place when you put down the burdens of all these wands, of all these. See, none of these wands are lit. So it's like you're considering these to be full of passion just because they're called wands, but they're not even lit, right? So there's something about doing maybe like a fire ceremony, maybe writing down your fears, maybe laying old connections to rest. If you do have any names that you write down, or if you put like I am statements, make sure that you circle any of the nouns, any of the individuals, to protect them from the burning process, because we're not trying to do black magic on people. We just want to cleanse their name from our space. And really, it's never the person. And this is like a visual representation when you write it down, like say, Bob, all right? Bob hurt my feelings, right? Bob lied or cheated on me. If you circle Bob, it's not Bob that you're really doing the work on. It's the hurt that you're putting the work on. That's the shadow that you are releasing, is the hurt, the infidelity, the disloyalty, the deception, all of those things. That's what you're really doing, because Bob wasn't doing that to you. Bob was just operating out of a low place, and maybe Bob is Bob, Robert, Bobby. Maybe like these names are people who have hurt you in the past. Maybe that name came up for a reason. I'm also getting the French film. Or no, it's not the French film. All right, Bob. It is in that. It's not a French film, but it is French Kiss. Oh, there's gonna be a lot of passionate kissing with this person. Like, ooh la la, ooh la la. Maybe somebody speaks French or has like French ancestry, or there's just something very decadent about this connection, where I feel like you're going to be making food, listening to good music, like all the sensual stuff, which is very healing to the Five of Pentacles, right? If you are doing work on the Five of Pentacles, go to the five senses. This is Taurus energy. It's all earth energy, but particularly Taurus as the most sensual of the zodiac signs. So if you have disruptions in any of your five senses, that's going to block you from your sixth sense. All right, your third eye, your crown, and higher. And if these are blocked, right, you're not going to be able to create, which is that mercurial magician energy. So we're trying to alchemize and call this love in, because it ain't here, or you wouldn't be here, right? So let's see, what else? What else? The cards were really giving me time to channel all of that, so I feel like that was important. Silence. Now, some of you know that I do vocal fasting. For years, I've been doing it on Sundays, but this past year, being on the road, I did not have the safest places to really feel like I could do this, right? So I'm actually going to implement it tomorrow. So I'm going to start re-implementing it there. I was doing it when I was in Arizona because I could just go park in the desert. This person is in the desert. So there's some sort of like inner Moses journey. They're also by a stream. So there's a need to maybe get yourself by water. Now you can do an hour of silence. You can just, with mercurial energy, I feel like that's important that just came out. All right, it's the Four of Pentacles, right? So that's another way to balance your Five of Pentacles, to bring healing to it, is to kind of go within to your resources and resource healing energy for yourself. All right, the Four of Pentacles is like Virgo energy. It is the Hermit. It's kind of going quiet. This isn't like the silent treatment. All right, this is just silence for yourself. So, and anybody who has an issue with you doing that those aren't your people. All right, if you have friends, family, lovers, or anybody who is offended by you taking time to heal yourself, then, those people need to go, because those people don't want you to alchemize. They don't want you to, we had the Maiden of Pipes, which is the Page of Wands, represented by a feminine in this deck. So it is very feminine energy. Someone could have like Native American or indigenous ancestry, because I feel like there's something about going back to your nature, going back to your roots. Now I have French ancestry, so like, for me, maybe going into like French places, right? So check your ancestry, or if you just know your ancestry, maybe you don't want to do like the 23andMe or whatever, because I get why you wouldn't. If you know, you know. But if you just kind of know, or if you're called to a certain culture, like maybe you don't have to have it. I was told that we had Cherokee Indian in us. And when I did my ancestry, I did not. I was also told that I was German. I have neither in me at all. So, but I was always drawn to certain German cultures. I was always drawn to French. So it was just kind of like, oh yeah, that makes sense that I have French, because I have always loved French music, French film, French style, all of those things. So there may be like a culture that you're always called to, and whether you do the actual ancestry, I was going to say dialogue. So maybe you're talking with someone in your family, or like asking, older relatives, like maybe you have, it's like story time, right? Which is important. We've really pulled away from accessing that resource of the elders. So there may be like an elder, or you can call upon your ancestors in the 5D, as I say, the 3D or 5D, but you can call upon your ancestors, your spirit guides. And, maybe you like grew up watching movies like Pocahontas, Grandmother Willow, or Fern Gully, Maggie, these, like these matriarchs, these fictional matriarchs are there for us, right? So you can access them. That's kind of a unique message, but maybe maybe you didn't grow up with grandparents or elders around you to, really get that ancestry or to get that link to your past. You can link it in many ways, because we're all connected, and we, just like the zodiac signs and the elements, to be a magician, you have access to all of the elements. They are all in your chart. All the modalities are represented in your chart in one way or another, and the elements are represented, masculine and feminine. It's all represented in everybody's chart in one way or another. And so you can access those things. So there's something about like resourcing all the materials, and they are within you. And a lot of times just going silent helps you to, maybe just going airplane mode. Airplane mode is like I was just talking about this, where I listen to, with my nephew, where I listen to certain music. Like I was listening to African music. And I was like, it's a free way to travel. It's a free way to go to other places when you don't. So it's like maybe listening to music or film. There's some way that you can access like roots that maybe feel inaccessible to you, so that you can call upon the powers of manifesting and alchemizing. Not just this union, right? The union will come naturally when you alchemize for the self. And then we have the Chief of Blades. And I love this Chief of Blades because he has a firearm, right? So it's like there's fire and swords energy. This is a very masculine, but this is the King of Swords. So it is here again with the Two of Swords to confirm that like somebody's coming in, and they are coming in with fire. They are coming in with passion and all of that, but the conversation is going to be very discerning and healing and clarifying, because we have the sun at the bottom here. So that tells me that like I don't know what that is. Oh, the sled, the chariot. Yes. So that is fire and water with Cancer energy. So that's like the moon with the chariot here. So that represents that. So, and then we have the sun. So this is the heart space. Somebody is coming in to bring clarity to the heart space for this feminine, because it must be the masculine. The masculine pursues, the feminine receives. That's just energy. Deal with it if you don't like it. I don't know what to tell you. Oh my gosh, I looked right at it. It's like, where is it? If it was a snake, it would have bit me. Something about Woody. There's a snake in my boots. Maybe somebody's a cowboy. I should have been a cowboy. There it is. This is what I was completely seeing. This is the balanced Two of Pentacles. You balance each other. You see eye to eye. It is a circuit. make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold. A ring is round, it has no end. That's how long I want to be your friend. Six of Swords, that's the rescue. That is like coming across rocky waters, a lot of scary emotions. This does strike fear, but that's the Fool energy. That's doing it anyway. That is truly courageous. It is that Leo energy. It is the masculine aspect of the heart chakra. It is coming in regardless of the fear, regardless of the choppy ocean. Someone could be traveling across the ocean, or like there's a lot of water placements here, but there is a lot of emotion here that's going to be shared with this Nine of Cups and the Six of Swords, which again, 6 is the number of love. It's balanced. It is a circuit. The Six of Pentacles is giving, it's mutual giving and receiving. Also, friends, Joey, having and giving and receiving when he's doing the vows. There is a vow here. The movie The Vow with Channing Tatum and Rachel McAdams could be important. And that is kind of like, that is, I passed over it the other day, so I might watch that again and do the next movie reading on that. We'll see. Because I love that, it is like a twin flame in this incarnation. You are past lovers, but it's like the masculine they know that that's their person, because they feel it. They know that's their person. Now, in that movie, she is in a car accident and she forgets her husband. And so he has to kind of, fight for their love and remind her. Also, she played in The Notebook, where there was amnesia, Alzheimer's. There's amnesia and Alzheimer's, so there's something about that. It's like memory loss. This is like a future memory of a past life. All right. And then the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, there's something about tapping into feminine ancestry, your feminine friends, having conversations with people that you trust. Now, these are all aspects of the self. So this could be me, myself, and I, body, mind, and spirit, whatever you see as your holy trinity. This is tapping into that. It's a sisterhood. So if you don't have sisters, if you don't have friends that you feel you can trust, then you can always access those friends in movies, in music, by meditating and sitting with them, because they are always available to you, sitting in nature. And that might make somebody kind of like, well, that feels very lonely, but I don't know. The loneliest I've ever been is in a room full of people that don't understand me or understand me. So this reading is more about tapping back into your source of power and realizing that you have the power to alchemize this connection. And the connection is so far beyond just going on a date or any sort of process that you've ever been in, like any sort of romantic process, because it doesn't feel like you're just going to click, right? And maybe you've heard that, like maybe you want to believe in love at first sight, but you've never experienced it. Maybe you want to believe in soulmates, but you just you've never experienced it. This is going to be it's going to be like the very first experience that you've ever had like this. And that's because it's your person, and that's how you're going to know. Now, because it is new and because it is healing, if you have been avoiding healing, or if you've been reluctant to heal for whatever reason, because of the work involved, because of the things that you have to look at, because of the physical results of really tapping into that, it's very overwhelming and draining, and it can cause physical manifestations that don't feel that good. But you have to move through that to get to a place where it's like, oh, it's just like if you eat something that's not good for you, your body has to purge it, right? So the purging process is not comfortable. Not many people are like, I love throwing up, right? Maybe some people do, that's on you, but it's usually the feeling that comes after that people are like, oh, that thing is out, the poison is out. And I feel free of it now. But that the process of getting it out, the purging process, is very challenging. The shadow work is not fun. It's not meant to be fun. All the lusty stuff, all the lower vibrational stuff is fun for a reason, because it's more easily accessible. Just like negative news, all of that, it's fun. It's addictive. And addiction is an attachment. It's much easier because it's always that you're always chasing something that you're never going to get, which is probably how you were raised, around a parent that did not give you, and you always felt like, and again, Jim Carrey, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, also their memories are wiped clean, and there's something about there's like a reset in this life where you are, for the first time, remembering who you are as individuals and who you are in this connection and what this connection means to the collective. Because I'm seeing the part where he's underneath the table and he's like, why won't she look at me? Oh, this desire. He's describing it kind of like a child, where he's like, I don't know why I feel, oh, this hurts. And I the way he describes it is like this. He has this indescribable need for her attention. So you may have had a very neglectful mother. And so if you've always been looking for that maternal love or that nurturing, that will interfere with your love life because you are unable to access that, or you have the limiting belief system that you are unable to access that. This reading tells you you are able to access that, not only within your own chart, but again, it's give it to God. What is too heavy for you, sitting in silence, sitting in that humility of, I'm only so big, so I need help, right? And that could be asking help from friends in the 3D. That could be asking help from your ancestors, right? So go out in nature and realize how small you are. Sit with little creatures. Maybe you don't like bugs. Sit with flowers, right? Sit with something. You might be like, I have allergies. Okay, if you have all these adverse reactions to nature, there's probably something in there. There's probably a reason for that. Because if you are reluctant to tap into nature, turn your phone off, right? Get outside. Start with one little plant, all right? Even if it's a plastic plant. If you need to merge into nature in a way that takes you out of a very synthetic lifestyle, maybe you're around a lot of fluorescent lights. Maybe you are around a lot of electronics, because I am getting that circuitry, but it's that's the wrong circuitry for your health and for your wellness and for your ability to manifest, right? So there's some sort of system that you have put in place or that you have been involved in that is blocking your natural systems, and causing repercussions there. So listen to your body, sitting with your body. You don't have to do handstands and headstands to do yoga, right? Yoga is, at its core, it is a spiritual practice. It's a conversation with the body, right? It's allowing yourself to receive messages, all right? We are all divine beings here. Some of us just have gotten very far away from that. So there are ways, and hopefully I've mentioned a few that you can try at least one, and maybe that will be, maybe one works for you and one doesn't, right? Everybody has their own way of divining information and to tapping into that conversation. Some people do it by running, and they can really get into the zone. Some people listen to, metal, and that puts them into the zone. Some people listen to orchestral, soft, classical, plinky plunky music, and that gets them into there. Some people don't like music. I don't understand that, but some people don't. It's too overwhelming to them or something. But again, there's probably a reason for that as well. So that's something you're going to have to look into. I cannot look into that for you. But music is the quickest way, which is why musicians are always because music is the most effective, and it is the quickest direct link to the emotional body. And so there's something about maybe listening to different types of music than you are used to. I do feel like music is very important here. Okay. So yeah, someone could create music, or yeah, you could like, music is a you could speak through music, right? Because if you've had a hard time expressing these things, expressing your emotions in words, you might be someone who's like, I'll let somebody else do it for me. It's just like buying a Hallmark card. Like, let somebody else who is good with the words express it for me. Or, because they're saying everything I want to say, but I can't really say it. That also is like Cyrano, where I don't know the characters' names, but like where the guy who loves her, is it Rosalind? Is that her name? Again, I don't know the names. There's something very like romantic and theatrical and like Shakespearean about this. But it's a triangle where Cyrano is writing for someone else for his love. But there could be some kind of triangle like that. There is in somebody could be like telling their friends about you, and their friends are like, wow, well, if you're not going to make a move, I'm interested. It's like they're because of their love for you, they are like making other people fall in love with you. Which, as emperors and empresses, a lot of people are going to be infatuated with you or have love for you and not understand what that is, or not understand what to do with that, or not have the capacity or the tools to actually do anything about it, because they're not your person. But they may be like in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Elijah Wood's character, like he gets all the stuff that Jim Carrey's character wipes clean, and he's like, wow, I love this girl. And so but it's an infatuation. It's not true love, obviously. It's because it's hard to not, the way that this person and you will speak about each other and love each other people will be inspired to love like that. They'll be like, I want that. Whatever that is, I want it. And there are going to be some people on a lower vibration who are going to come in and try to like pull from that or test it. So just be aware of that. If you feel like, you don't know who to choose. For feminines, choose the one that has action, truth, and consistency behind everything that they bring to you. Because those who don't really know what to do with it, they might drop little seeds there, and then they expect you to water them, right? A divine masculine will come in, they will plant a seed in your garden. Kings of Leon, more Leo energy, but Kings of Leon is like, they refer to your garden, your party. This is going to be like a party. I feel like the sexual energy here, it's going to be very tantric and a true weave. It's going to far surpass any sort of encounters you've ever had in the past that were just solely based on chemistry, because it is the true divine weave of the masculine and the feminine. But they see you as like a garden that they want to plant a seed in, and nurture it and water it into a great tree of life. All right. Where I feel feminines, you have been like the giving tree in the past. This is someone who's not like, I need some apples, I'm hungry, I'm this, I'm that, I need to swing on your branches, I need to build a house, and then they like have some other feminine move into that house. No, this person's like, oh, you have shade? I'll set up camp right here. I don't even need walls, or I'll, build them out of mud. We'll have a mud hut, because there's no way I'm taking from you. Like, I love your shade. I love everything about you as you are, and I don't want to take from that. I want to add to it. They're going to water you. They're going to put nutrients into the soil. They're going to plant other things around you so that you're not just, I feel like someone's, particularly the feminine, it feels very isolated, and this masculine is going to like help build a community and maybe network for this feminine to fully grow. And the more that the feminine grows, the more rewarded this masculine is, that like, yeah, I did that. Like, see how amazing that tree is? Like, that tree is going to shade generations. All right. And they may want to build a family with you, but I feel like it's more generational wealth. That's going to be bigger than just, you may or may not have children with this person. But it's like the children of the collective, the inner children or the literal children of the collective are going to be able to, they might build a swing on your branches and things like that, so that you will have friends and you will never be alone. Like, they just see you there as this like lonely tree where they're like, huh, that's a really beautiful tree. And other people, I feel, have just hiked right past it or driven right past it and been like, meh. Maybe the next tree is bigger. Maybe the next tree is prettier. But it's like, the grass is greener where you water it. And so this masculine really wants to invest in a feminine that they finally have found through all the past connections or attachments that were non-reciprocal. They're like, oh, if I invest in this, it's going to reciprocate. Like, I'm constantly going to have this beautiful shade. I'm constantly going to have fruit, but I will wait for the fruit to fall. I'm not going to pull it. I'm not going to take from it. I will let this feminine give to me, and that will nourish me. And then I will be more and more powerful and great to protect this tree. And also in Fern Gully, it's like, hexes. And X's are very important. I'm looking at an Xbox where there's a green X. So there's like X marks the spot. So you could be seeing like crosses or X's that are like some sort of symbol or synchronicity for you to know that you're on the right path. So if you start to doubt that, look for X's or crosses and be like, okay, I'm on the right path. Red X's are hexes, right? Green X's, green light, go. All right, hopefully there was something in here for you, collective. And until next time, I wish you well.